Good evening. This is Chair Brian Haggerty of the El Paso Board of Trustees, inviting everyone to our regular scheduled board meeting for August the 18th, 2021. Anyone who wants to access this meeting, you can dial 1-844-621-3956, enter the access code 120-697-3426, and please press the hashtag to access the call. You can also watch this meeting through video audio feed found at youtube.com/GoEPCC. Any member of the public wishing to make a comment or question regarding an agenda item can email the comments or questions to the following email address: boardquestions@epcc.edu. All backup and related materials for the meeting can be accessed at the following link: epcc.edu/administration/board of trustees. Okay, Dr. Penley, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Pam, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Robles.
Present.
Mr. Uxer.
Present.
Ms. Sanchez stepped out. Dr. Graham.
Here.
Mr. Haggerty.
Here. Okay. Pam, can you read 1.4, please?
Yes, sir. Item 1.4, approval of minutes, none. Item 1.5, you've already done a welcome. Item 1.6, open forum. And we have no one that has signed up so far.
Okay. 1.7.
Item 1.7, presentations by individuals, groups, and organizations. Item 1.7.1, Dr. William Sarapat, college president, will recognize individuals who have retired from the college district.
Chair Haggerty and members of the board, I'd begin today by recognizing John D. Jack Hall, Lab Assistant 2 and Student Support Services. John Hall, known by his friends and co-workers as Jack, has worked at EPCC for 30 years. During that time, he tutored students in both writing and math, but his true love is tutoring students in remedial math. He spent half his life helping students comprehend the only universal language, mathematics, being able to translate abstract concepts into concrete terminology, helping students start on their path to success, and watching the light come on when they grasp a concept or understand something they have been struggling with has been a daily joy. He will miss both students and coworkers, but looks forward to great things during retirement. The Office of Student Success and the Trans Mountain Tutoring Center team wish Jack the best in his retirement. Congratulations, Jack. Martha Carrillo, Student Assistant Community Education Program. Ms. Carrillo has been employed at EPCC for 36 years. Upon her high school graduation, she began attending EPCC in 1985 to study social work with a mental health option. That same year, she became part of the EPCC family, starting as a work study at the Literacy Center, thus beginning her career of opening doors to education for many in our border community. At the Literacy Center, she helped to teach the adult population how to read and write, then as part of the Community Engagement Program, providing free GED and English literacy classes to the public. In 2004, she joined the Retention Action Program, RAP, to support CTE students and provide ESL conversational classes. Martha's dedication to ESL students is exceptional. There are many examples of student success in her work with EPCC students who had a basic understanding of English and who just needed to practice for someone to take time to build their confidence. Ms. Carrillo's dedication to EPCC's mission has positively impacted many students during their long career at EPCC. Her work ethic and commitment to the RAP program for the past 17 years are highly valued. Ms. Carrillo will definitely be missed by the students, the community, as well as her co-workers. Martha loves helping her community, and she enjoys volunteering in nursing homes and sharing encouraging and uplifting messages from the Bible to the neighbors in her community. Martha's an animal lover and has rescued 4 cats and rescued 30 guinea pigs and found loving homes for all of them. She will surely continue contributing to our community's quality of life during her retirement. The Office of Student Success and the RAP program wish Martha the best in her retirement. Congratulations, Martha. That concludes the retirements, Chair Hager.
Please tell these individuals thank you for their service on behalf of the Board of Trustees. 1.7.2, Pam?
Item 1.7.2, optional written report submitted by the Presidents of the Classified Staff Association, the Professional Staff Association, the Faculty Association, and the Student Government Association will be read at this time. I have received one report this evening. It's from the Student Government Association. Dear EPCC Board and College President, last year I welcomed the opportunity to serve as President of the Student Government Association during the toughest times for our students while they started adapting to new learning environments, and some of them while grieving the loss of a loved one. El Paso Community College also lost faculty and staff due to a virus that we never imagined was going to come. I knew what my responsibility was to the college and students when they responded by placing their confidence in me to lead their voice and at the same time carry the legacy of the Student Government Association. I enthusiastically assumed my new and broader responsibilities. It was here where my academic career started and allowed me to become a leader, but now my time has come to an end. I am delighted to imagine what the Student Government Association will accomplish in the future with new groups of students that would set their mind and spirit to represent the college as its best, consistently demonstrating that El Paso Community College is the best place to start and finish. During the last months, I have been assigned the task of constructing an administration of a united leadership while our only source to communicate with each other was technology. Our participation in different committees such as the grade appeals, tuition and fees, and the Quality Enhancement Plan shows the results of an active group of young leaders that rigorously continue to represent the student body despite the adversity. Vice President Aileen Garcia created a new project called Connect, which allowed students to be part of a health and wellness program in the form of interactive groups to help them handle different issues that COVID-19 has brought to their lives. The project was an online 7 bi-weekly session that started in February 2021 to encounter students with themselves, learning mechanisms, and creating substantial experiences from the different activities assigned. Meanwhile, President Eduardo A. Flores created a scholarship called Rising Platinum Stars to allow students to be involved in clubs and encourage them to take advantage of all services that EPCC offers, such as the honors program. In order to be eligible for this distinction, students must be placed on the president's or dean's list for their outstanding GPA and their commitment to their education. Similarly, students must be a member or serve as an officer of one of the clubs available at EPCC one semester before their application. In addition, all applicants must have at least one completed honors course at EPCC. The Rising Platinum Stars Award will be granted at the annual Student Government Association banquet held each spring semester. There will be 3 selected recipients of the award who will be considered the top 3 EPCC students and earn a total payment of their books for the fall semester. Further, on April 8th through 10th, 2021, we attended the virtual Texas Junior College Student Government Association Convention, and we had the opportunity to speak with other students from Texas. This year, we presented a resolution against voter suppression. We urged the TJC SGA to promote democracy by making voting easier for all Texans, including students, by finally adding Texas to the 40 states and District of Columbia that allow online voter registration. Additionally, ensuring that all large college campuses have voting locations for the thousands of students on their campuses. President Flores and Vice President Garcia also served on the Resolutions Committee of the TJC SGA, in which we were able to edit and recommend a better routing scheme on other resolutions proposed. We were honored to announce that the TJC SGA passed our resolution at the General Assembly. The Student Government Association also presented a check of an endowment to the family of Raul Hernandez for the amount of $25,000 that in the future will be used for a scholarship in his name to maintain and honor his legacy at our institution. Raul began working in the Student Leadership and Campus Life Department in 2010, where he brought with him the passion, experience, and desire to create a cheer and mascot program for El Paso Community College that continues to this day. The Student Government Association was proud to share that the Tejano Food Pantry received $5,000 to continue to minimize hunger among our students and their families, especially during these challenging times. The Tejano Food Pantry continues its operations and has received requests from students as to how Dr. Sarata indicated at the town hall. In the same way, in May, we began balancing our budget for the next administration of SGA, which our members have now approved. My administration has always maintained the goal of creating new pathways of opportunities for our students. We are honored to announce that a new contest called Sga Presidential Portrait was able to open a new door for students with a passion for art at El Paso Community College. This project has the mission to honor the efforts and challenges of each future SGA president. At the same time, it is a unique opportunity to show the strong relationship between the student body and our EPCC artists. Although this competition was open to all students who wished to participate, we, the Student Government Association, decided to partner with the Art Student Society to establish the creation of an SGA President's Portrait. The deadline for submitting the portrait was July 18th, and the award was for $200. As president, I would like to applaud the Vice President of the Art Student Society Club, Dalia I. Hajar, for being selected as the winner of the new contest and tradition of making the SGA Presidential Portrait. Her artworks at EPCC have been as outstanding, and we are excited to have her as the first artist to win the distinction of making the first presidential portrait. We extend our gratefulness to the Art Student Society Club for partnering with us, and we send our congratulations to Delia and her family. Furthermore, 2 weeks ago, we ordered giveaways to welcome our students during fall 2021. Some of the items we selected were hand sanitizers, pens, t-shirts, Bluetooth speakers, chargers, Rubik cubes, and journal books. Also, we are looking at some items for the upcoming Leader B1 conference. We are currently working with a furniture company to replace the existing equipment at our SGA office and the Valle Verde Student Union to give our students the best experience possible during their time at El Paso Community College. We are eager to get back to campus and continue to advocate for the rights of students, but most importantly, to support them no matter the circumstances. I want to share the dates for the 2021-22 SGA elections where new leaders would have the opportunity to join SGA and make their impact on the rights of students at our institution. The application packages have now been released to students on the myepcc.edu page, and the deadline for submission is August 18th. Elections will take place on September 13th through the 17th. We wish all applicants the best of luck, and we strongly encourage students to join the team. It has been a pleasure to write these letters throughout my term and inform the EPCC board and college president about our updates and new projects. Sincerely, Eduardo A. Flores, President of the Student Government Association.
Any other communication?
This is the only report we received this evening.
Okay. 1.8.
Item 1.8, communications, none.
1.9 we'll take after executive session. 1.10.1.
Item 1.10, board reports. Item 1.10.1, treasurer's report. No action is necessary. This is the report for July 31st, 2021. Item 1.10.2, President's Report. Item 1.10.2.1, Dr. William Sarata, College President, will update the Board of Trustees and audience on recent events that have transpired at the college to include an update on the COVID-19 pandemic and appropriate actions taken.
Chair Haggerty and members of the board, I participated in 50 virtual and or in-person meetings since our last board meeting. Included in those are 5 Texas Association of Community College meetings as we continue to prepare for the next special session, the current one as well as the next special session we anticipate being called. One was a Texas Association of Community College CEOs only call with Deputy Commissioner Martinez, during which we went through the governor's latest executive order, which was signed at the end of July. One TAC CEO and CFO meeting on the use of HERF federal funding. Ms. Shaughnessy joined me for that meeting, as well as Mr. Flores and Ms. Lopez from Financial Aid. One Texas Association of Community College Legislative Committee meetings, one steering committee meeting, and one Texas 2036 Higher Education Funding Simulator Advisory Group meeting. Attended the Leadership Academy graduation. Kudos to Dr. Brown and her team and the committee for a great job of leading the Leadership Academy graduation. I met with Creed staff on the Promise program, held 2 COVID meetings with the college COVID team to review data as numbers once again begin to rise in our community. Attended the American Association of Community Colleges board retreat in Pentagon City, just outside of Washington, D.C. During the meeting, we were fortunate, as I indicated during our special meeting, to meet with Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona, as well as Secretary of Labor Marty Walsh. Secretary Cardona, in his comments, mentioned El Paso Community College specifically for waiving college debt through our HERF resources. I met with Dr. Wilson from UTEP as we continue to prepare for the fall semester and went over different items that we're both looking at. I spoke to Representative Rainey from College Station regarding workforce training. Participated in the El Paso branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas board meeting and represent the El Paso branch at the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas board of directors meeting. Met with Dr. Amaya and Ms. Lopez on the proposed use of our HERF fund resources for students, and I give them a lot of credit on developing a robust plan to ensure that we utilize our HERF resources wisely and also that we were able to utilize them to the full extent. Participated in the Future of Work Committee meeting hosted by the Borderplex Alliance. Participated in a radio interview with Entrevisión, just under an hour interview with Dr. Graham, which we were able to speak about the college and many of the programs and services that we have available for students and the community. I want to thank Dr. Graham for taking time for the interview. Participated in the Lumina Foundation Compensation Committee. I participated in the opening ceremony of the San Elizario Early College High School program and participated in the El Paso Accelerate Steering Committee meeting. Let me transition to our COVID. We're now in our 10th week of our return to campus operation. 14 days of decreasing cases. Currently, we're averaging 108 cases per day, which is slightly higher from the prior 2 weeks during which we averaged 72 cases per day, and the 2 weeks prior to that when we averaged 43 cases per day. While the reporting cycles have seen an increase in the number of daily cases, we continue to be significantly under the 212 cases limit per day for a community our size. The 7-day rolling average has once again fallen below 5%, and today was reported at 2.73%. The cumulative positivity rate stands at 9.55% today and has been below 10% for 12 consecutive weeks and continues a downward trajectory. The infection rate continues to fall, and we have not seen a single day for the last 14 weeks of exceeding the daily total of 212 cases. We currently stand at 71.4% of our population aged 12 or older being fully vaccinated and 84% of our population having received at least their first vaccination. To summarize, we continue to meet the 14 days of decreasing cases, although our daily cases have increased slightly. The infection rate in the 7-day rolling average has fallen below 5%. The 7-day rolling average had been higher than the goal of 5% for 34 days, but today's the third consecutive day that we are below 5%. The cumulative positivity rate continues to fall and has been less than or equal to 10% for 12 consecutive weeks. My recommendation is that we begin phase 2, and we'll monitor the data between now and then, but we begin phase 2 of our return to campus plan on Monday, August 23rd. As a reminder, phase 2 of our return to campus plan, which will be effective on Monday the 23rd based on the data, we will begin 50% capacity with 100% of our staff participating. I am happy to entertain any questions from any member of the board.
I have some questions. Sorry, Chair. Can I go? So I've got a couple of questions for constituents that are staff members for the college, and their questions is whether or not, and I can't recall quite frankly off the top of my head, whether what would be the plan or what would be the transition, and even if there's an idea at this point of the return to online classes, like how are we treating that, especially for the faculty who's
No, Ms. Sanchez, it's a great question. So even though my proposal is to return into phase 2 of our plan, which is 50% capacity with 100% of staff participating, we certainly understand with the Delta variant that we're in a precarious situation, if you will. We will continue to monitor the data daily. If we ended up in a rollback situation where we believe that our metrics have grown, I meet with Dr. Pena and the COVID team weekly and then meet with cabinet as well. And we actually have Dr. Pena participate in the cabinet meetings as well. If we determine that we need to roll back, then Dr. Smith and his team are in a position and prepared to roll back. And I'd ask Dr. Smith to please chime in as well with regards to being able to go into a virtual environment. So Dr. Smith, if you don't mind adding to that, please.
Not at all, Dr. Strada. Yeah, lessons learned from previous semesters. Each of the faculty, whether they're teaching face-to-face or completely online, has a full shell for their course and are fully capable of transitioning to an online format if need be. Hopefully that won't be needed, but we are prepared to do it if needed.
And so right now, the plan then, I guess for all intents and purposes, is everybody's returning to the campus for those classes.
So
otherwise, it's like a hybrid or something else.
Well, we do have a hybrid in place. So we have 50% of our classes that are. We started by offering 50% of our classes face-to-face, 50% of our classes online. The latest data that I looked at, which was yesterday's data, we actually had approximately 53% of our classes that we're making and going to meet face-to-face, and about 47% that were going to be online. So what we did, Ms. Sanchez, to ensure that everyone was safe, the first day of class, Dr. Smith and his team, everyone will be virtual on the first class day. And at that point, then the faculty will determine, will let the students know we're gonna on, for instance, Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. So on Monday they'll be virtual, and they'll say on Wednesday these 10 students will be required to come in face-to-face, and the other students will be continuing to learn virtually, and we will alternate so that they all have FaceTime with the faculty member. Mr. Smith, please, if I miss anything, please chime in.
No, thank you for that explanation. Yeah, so from the start of the planning for the fall semester, we identified 50% of our courses that would have a face-to-face component and some presence on campus. But we are maintaining social distancing standards of 6 feet. Mr. Lobato and his team, Hector Padilla, Andrew and his team have looked at every single classroom that's intended to be used for the fall and listed the capacity of that classroom. And so what Dr. Strada was indicating is there is a maximum capacity of students that can attend on any given day in each classroom, and it's different depending on the classroom that they're in. And so having the faculty members meet virtually the first day keeps all 30 students in a class from showing up to campus on the first day. And we've got a robust campaign. We've already informed the students and the faculty that we are meeting virtual that first day. And that allows the faculty to prepare and plan, divide up the class, and identify which days the students are going to show up during the week.
Great. And then I have another question. So we know, and I'm sure we've all read the news, that we have a local health authority order that's been in place as of 12:01 today. And so my question is, what is the college's intention in terms of following the local health authority mask?
Yes, ma'am, it's a great question, and obviously all of us in this room are following it. We follow the rules and regulations, the laws of our particular county, and so given the fact that that is in place, our expectation is that all of our faculty and staff, as well as our students, follow those rules and regulations. We certainly understand from what we've seen in other communities that Governor Abbott will appeal that, but until it is overturned, we will follow it.
Okay, so just to be clear for members of the public, El Paso Community College intends to, at least right now at this moment, because this all happened so fast, to follow the mask requirement of the local public health authority. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I guess with that answer, I'd like to know what's going to be the consequence if somebody says, I don't want to follow it, I don't believe in it, I'm not going to do it. Do we have a plan? Because it seems like the community is divided. Half of the people on one side and half on the other. You don't need to answer now, but we need to be ready to come up with a plan. If it's insubordination or discipline or criminal or, what are we going to do?
No, it's a great point, Dr. Graham, and we will, and we have had the plans. So obviously, we know that our county has gone through where we did have a mask mandate, and we continue to move forward and continue to abide by all the rules and regulations, all the laws that are in place. We will work, the cabinet and I will work together to ensure that we have the plan available. We'll make sure that our PD, our police department, is available, that if we have an incident within class where a student who does not want to adhere to it, that we have something in place so that we can move forward. And again, it is a fluid situation. We certainly understand that. Classes start on Monday. I believe that this current order is in place at least until the 31st of August. If something changes, which means our entire first week of class, if something changes between then and now, then we will continue to move forward. But we will work with cabinet. We meet tomorrow afternoon, and we will make sure that we have a plan, Dr. Graham.
And I think the fact that we can do so much more virtually at EPCC will help, because if somebody really doesn't want to adhere to that mandate, because on the one side we're saying this is a local mandate, and then you have the people that are saying, yeah, but you're going against the state executive order, so it's very controversial, but rather than looking at a punitive plan, maybe offering the option of online for those that refuse. But then what happens if you have faculty that refuse? That's the other side of the coin.
No, it's a great point, Dr. Graham. And by and large, our entire faculty and staff has been incredibly understanding, and they have followed the rules and regulations that the college has put forth based on the local as well as state as well as federal laws that are in place. I will share with you that our first time in college enrollment numbers have continued to rise, and I firmly believe, just based on the data, last fall we were 92% online. We only had about 8 to 10% of our class that was face-to-face. The fact that we're offering so much more face-to-face sections, we have a 16% increase in first-time in college students this fall compared to last fall. That was something that was evident. Last fall we saw a 30% decline in first-time in college students. It was evident that those students who had just graduated from high school did not want to be in an online environment. So we're pleased, but we're also cautious, and we will make sure that we adhere. And if for some reason our community starts to see an increase in numbers and we have to roll back, we will be prepared for that.
Can we attribute that increase to Dr. Amaya?
Dr. Amaya and his team continue to do a great job.
Because if it goes down, we're gonna contribute it to you.
I have only one question for legal. For some unknown reason, one of our students is dragged out of class in handcuffs because he's not wearing a mask. What is our liability?
So
order does not, even the governor's order does not allow any kind of criminal penalty. And so that would not be appropriate for that to happen. Dr. Serrata and I have talked about that. And the appropriate measures that'll be taken by our police department, if they have to be taken, will not include any kind of force.
That's been expressed to our police department.
I didn't hear you, Judge.
That's been expressed to our police department that nobody's going to be dragged out of class in handcuffs because they're not wearing a mask.
Yeah, we will ensure that they know, Judge Haggerty, we've just begun the process. Ms. Marin and I have had our preliminary discussion. When I meet with Cabinet, we'll make sure that the police department is aware of that. Chief and his team will make sure that they're absolutely aware that that's not the expectation.
It wouldn't look good in the paper or the news.
It would not. And it's not what we want either.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions for Dr. Serrata? Okay, Pam, 1.11.
Item 1.11, consent docket, action items include 3.2 and 8.1.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. .1, Pam.
Item 2.0 administration. TASB policies include item 2.1 through 2.4. They are the FFDA local policy is presented for an updated first reading and approval. Policy 2.2 BD local policy is presented for second reading and approval. Item 2.3 CC local policy is presented for second reading and approval. And item 2.4 23 TASB category D policies are presented for second reading and approval.
Move to approve 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4.
Second.
Any discussion?
No
Well-
discussion, but I do have a comment, Judge. Ms. Marin, will you be, or someone in your firm be providing some training on the Title IX?
Yes, in fact, I've talked to the HR department. We have a meeting scheduled, if not tomorrow, then next Tuesday, specifically about the Title IX. We have done high-level training of the executive team on Title IX, but we haven't rolled it out to the rest of the campus, to the rest of the college. The idea is to have a schedule, so we're going to put together a schedule, and then the plan is to do a video training that people will be able to attend online to be able to get it done very quickly across the college for both staff and students.
So how do we minimize the opportunity for somebody to turn it on and go do something else? And it's not going to be as effective, in my opinion, as if you deliver it directly to the leaders and then have them share the information.
For sure, we've talked about a lot of different options and we haven't landed on a specific plan yet. That's the purpose of our meeting that we've got scheduled in the next couple of days. And hopefully we will get that rolled out quickly and in the most effective way. I know that the online stuff is not always as effective. There are ways to do it where it is effective, where the person has to keep taking tests and so forth, that kind of thing, interactive. But we're going to work through that and hopefully have a plan in place here in short order.
It's just because it's got so much
Yes.
in there, as you well know.
It has a lot of teeth.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other questions? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. And just to let your board members know before she reads 3.1, you've had a revised list that was presented to you earlier. So let that be noted. Go ahead, Pam, read 3.1.
Item 3.1, discussion and action to approve and extend full-time staff and faculty recruited in positions funded by the institutional budget.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve 3.1, 3.3, and 3.4.
I hear a second.
Second.
Go ahead and read 3.3 and 3.4, Pam.
Yes, sir. Item 3.3, discussion and action on the appointment of new tenured faculty, reappointment of continuing probationary faculty, and authorization for the president to enter into written employment contracts and contract addenda for the 2021-2022 academic year with tenured and probationary faculty members. Item 3.4, discussion and action of the reappointment of continuing regular classified staff, professional staff, and administrative staff, and authorization for the president to enter into written employment contracts effective September 1, 2021 with the employees listed in the agenda.
Okay, any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 3.5.
Item 3.5, authorization for the president to employ part-time faculty and staff for the 2021-2022 fiscal year.
Move to approve 3.5, 4.1, and 4.2.
I hear a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead and read 4.1 and 4.2, Pam.
Okay. Item 4.1, discussion and action on the approval to purchase equipment and services from AV Concepts and Security LLC for the upgrade of 275 district-wide technology-enhanced classrooms for the delivery of hybrid instruction in an amount not to exceed $491,400. Item 4.2, discussion and action on the approval to purchase desktop computers from Dell Marketing LP to upgrade technology in instructional classrooms district-wide in an amount not to exceed $141,917.
Any discussion on any of these items? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.3.
Item 4.3, discussion and action on the approval to award a contract to Spectrum Paper Company Incorporated to provide copy paper for the instructional service centers and academic computing services labs for the fiscal year 2021-2022 in an amount not to exceed $90,000.
Motion to approve?
I'm sorry?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.4.
Item 4.4, discussion and action on the authorization for the college to enter into an interlocal agreement with the Political Subdivision Alliance of Texas.
Hear a motion?
Move to approve 4.4 and 4.5.
Have a second?
Second.
Can you read 4.5 now?
Item 4.5, discussion and action on the approval of a contract award to USI Southwest Incorporated for commercial property, inland marine, automobile, excess crime, and crisis management insurance, as well as general law enforcement, cybersecurity, umbrella, and school board employment practices liability insurance in an amount not to exceed $879,911.
Any discussion on these two items? I have one question. What is the Political Subdivision Alliance of Texas?
I apologize, Judge. This is
Chair.
Ruben. Can you hear me?
Oh, Mr. Gallardo, I guess, is going to jump in. I was going to explain, but he is certainly a much better resource person.
I apologize, Judge. Yeah, this is an interlocal agreement between two political subdivisions in the state. I believe they are, just a second. Oh, the Hidalgo Independent School District and the Pasadena Independent School District
Okay.
here in Texas.
So what does this do?
They got together to get better insurance rates under Government Code 790.
So this has to do with insurance?
This has to do with insurance, yes, sir, with the next item on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Your explanation was pretty good on page 134, sir. Mr. Gallardo.
Thank you, Dr. Graham.
Okay, no more discussion, call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.6 then.
Item 4.6, discussion and action on the acceptance of the 2021 certified appraisal roll with a net taxable value of property within the El Paso County Community College District of $48,912,168,164 as established by the Central Appraisal District. And I believe I have to read the order.
Okay,
The State of Texas, County of El Paso County Community College District. This is an order accepting the certified appraisal roll. Whereas the Board of Trustees of said district desire that the appraisal roll for the district for the 2021 tax year be accepted and approved. Therefore, be it ordered by the Board of Trustees of the El Paso County Community College District that the appraisal roll for the district for the 2021 tax year be accepted as approved by the 2021 Appraisal Review Board and certified by the Chief Appraiser as follows. Next, net taxable value, $48,912,168,164.
Move to approve.
here a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.7.
Item 4.7, discussion and action on the adoption of the 2021-2022 fiscal year operating budget of $149,804,039.
Move to approve.
We have a second?
Second.
And I guess we're going to
Can I make some comments, Judge?
have
I just wanted to thank the Budget Department for putting together the budget and crunching those numbers and going back to see how we could make it work. I think one of the things that, as a board member, that I'm especially proud of that we were able to do was to take care of the community college employees and to ensure that they were compensated, and that as we move into this COVID-19 pandemic, that was also something that we continue to consider. And so that was reflected in this particular budget, and we were able to make it work. For members of the public, we've had a lengthy and a long discussion and meeting with regards to the budget. We had it during a special meeting. It's posted, so if anybody wants to go back and take a look at that, they certainly can, but we've had those discussions. And so today's action is the formal acceptance of that budget. Just another quick comment to think through as we go into this next fiscal year is just, again, what it means. We did not think we will be back with masks at this point, and considering that we're still going through this COVID-19 pandemic. And so that will continue to be, I think, a challenge for our students, for our faculty, for our administration to think through. We know, and what we have right now are federal funding and other funding opportunities that have been provided to the college to include a very, very generous and unprecedented gift to the college by Mackenzie Scott, excuse me, it was just right off the top of my head. And we are going to work through that next year to see how we can sustain that for several years to come. Again, I just wanted to thank everybody who worked so very hard to put this budget together. I think it's a good budget, and it's something to be proud of. So thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. I will relay your message. I'm sure they are also listening. And we want to thank you also for your support.
And Josette, tell me, how many years in a row have you received your outstanding award?
The outstanding award actually is for the comprehensive annual financial report, and we're waiting to hear for the 25th year in a row.
What an accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank
Give
you,
our
sir.
best to your staff, please.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for all your hard work. 4.8, Pam? Oh, I'm sorry. We have to call a question.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.8.
Item 4.8, discussion and action on the adoption of the 2021-2022 auxiliary fund budget.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 4.9, discussion and action on the adoption of the order and the certificate of order setting tax rate of 13.4760 cents per $100 valuation for fiscal year 2021-2022. And the order that I have here to read is, this is the State of Texas, County of El Paso County Community College District, order setting tax rate. Whereas the Board of Trustees of said district has received, accepted, and approved the certified appraisal roll for the 2021 tax year, and whereas the district has calculated those tax rates and made such other calculations as required by law, and whereas the Board of Trustees of said district wishes to adopt a tax rate, therefore be it ordered by the Board of Trustees of the El Paso County Community College District that the maintenance and operations tax rate for the district for the 2021 tax year be set and adopted in accordance with Chapter 26 of the Texas Tax Code, entitled the Property Tax Code, as follows. The operations tax rate is 13.4760 cents per $100 valuation. The total is 13.4760 cents per $100 valuation.
Is that 13.4 or is that 0.13?
Well, because we're saying cents, it's 13.4760 cents per each $100.
This is something different here. So we're paying 13 cents per 100. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What did we pay last year?
13.9859.
So we lowered it this year.
It's lower because we are adopting the no new revenue tax rate.
That's good for our constituents, I assume.
Can we make sure the paper publishes that?
It's been published in the newspaper, Dr. Graham.
Oh, I forgot, nobody buys that piece.
Dr. Graham wants it on the front page.
I do. We should have it on our website,
Any other discussion?
It is on our website, Dr. Graham.
as soon as you open it.
As soon as we open it.
Because we're all complaining about taxes going up.
Okay, any other discussion? Call the question, Pam?
I believe we still need a motion, Judge.
Oh, we didn't make a motion?
Oh, I thought I made the
I
motion.
thought we had a motion in a
Oh, I-
second.
Yeah,
I didn't hear you.
motion made.
Second.
Any other discussion? Call the question?
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 4.10,
Item 4.10, discussion and action on the acceptance of an amendment to an existing grant under HERF 3 from the U.S. Department of Education in the amount of $3,287,659.
do I have a motion?
Motion made.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Joseph, what does this grant entail and who got it for us?
Well, actually, this is the award that we were actually waiting for as a minority serving institution where we were expecting, we just did not know the amount. And so this is a supplemental to all the HERF grants that we've been receiving from the federal government. And it's going to have the same uses, it can be used the same way as we've used other MSI grants under the HERF guidance. It was somewhat mentioned at our last meeting, during the special meeting, so this is to formalize the acceptance of that award.
What is HERF? What's that stand for?
It's higher, let me see.
Education.
Higher education, let me look at the abstract.
Page 162.
Thank you. So this is under and I'm looking for the actual acronym. I apologize.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. just
No, it's all
higher-
right, Judge.
No,
It's
that's
the
okay.
Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
there's been
Dr.
three
Siddle.
tranches, no worries, Ms. Shaughnessy. There's been three tranches, the CARES Act, Carissa, and then the American Rescue
What does that
Plan.
do with COVID?
All of it having to do with the disaster act, so absolutely the COVID.
Okay, thank you. Call the question, please.
Is that how much you were expecting, or were you expecting more?
We just did not know. The very first MSI grant we received last May was about $1,041,000. Then we got an additional under Carissa of 1.9. So we were hoping it was going to be much higher in light of the ARPA funding that we received. So it's very much welcome. And it will. And the nice thing about this award too is we just award that the expiration date that was originally March the 8th of 2022 is now August 3rd of 2022, which means we'll have a little bit more resources to go towards our students for the summer.
And it's a 2-year, right?
I'm sorry?
It's a 2-year, it can be funded again the second year?
Actually, no, this would be a one-time award. The only thing we could request is 1 year extension, but we have to have very good justification for
Oh,
that.
that's right, I read it wrong. I thought it was
Yeah.
the same amount another year.
Call the question.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 5.1, discussion and action on the approval of expenditures with various vendors to purchase building materials, supplies, and/or services as needed for the district for fiscal year 2021-2022.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question, please.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye. Oh, sorry.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye, sorry.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 6.1, discussion and action on the approval of a 3-year contract with Education to Go, a Cengage learning company, to provide online instruction in an amount not to exceed $80,000.
Move to approve 6.1 and 6.2.
Second.
Go ahead and read 6.2, Pam.
Item 6.2, discussion and action on the procurement of drug screening, background check, and compliance logging services from American Databank LLC in an amount not to exceed $70,000.
Have any discussion on these 2 items? Call the question, Pam.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 7.1,
Item 7.1,
my favorite item every year.
discussion and action on the approval of lease contracts with the Phoenix of El Paso for rental of apartments for the Intercollegiate Athletics Department in an amount not to exceed $70,000.
How many times have we bought these apartments?
I don't know, I did the figure, 25 years I've been here, it was 1.75.
Move to approve 7.1 and 7.2.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Read 7.2, please, Pam.
Item 7.2, discussion and action on the approval of continuing education tuition rates for new courses.
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the question.
Mrs. Robles,
Aye.
Mr. Uxer,
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez,
Aye.
Dr. Graham,
Aye.
Ms. Naheda, sorry, Mr. Haggerty.
No to 7.1 and yes to 7.2.
Are you serious?
We only need to do executive session, Pam.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
It's just a protest.
I have to get my glasses because the print's so small. The Board of Trustees may conduct an executive or closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons: consultation with its attorney to seek or receive legal advice, or consultation regarding pending or contemplated litigation, or for any purpose authorized by law, discussion about the value or transfer of real property, discussion about a prospective gift or donation, consideration of specific personnel matters, discussion about security personnel or devices, or discussion of certain economic development matters. The board may also announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on this agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session by provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Any vote regarding these items shall be taken in open session. Item 1.3.1, discussion with legal counsel regarding matters related to amended EEOC charge filed by Carla Cardosa, charge number 453-2020-1306, pursuant to Section 551 of the Texas Government Code. Item 1.3.2, discussion with legal counsel regarding the proposed EPCC adopted personnel policies related to discipline and dismissal pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. Item 1.3.3, discussion with legal counsel regarding the interlocal agreement for the purpose of participation and intervention in Public Utility Commission of Texas, PUC, proceeding PUC docket number 52195, SOAH docket number 473212606, application of El Paso Electric Company to change rates pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code.
Okay, we're back into our regular session for our meeting for August the 18th of 2021. The board is out of executive session at this time. Pam, can you read Item 1.3.2, please.
Yes, sir. Item 1.3.2, discussion with legal counsel regarding the proposed EPCC adopted TASB personnel policies related to discipline and dismissal pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code.
Okay, we're going to take no action on that. Could you please read 1.9.1?
One moment, please. 1.9. Item 1.9.1, discussion and take possible action regarding matters related to amended EEOC charge filed by Carla Cardoza, charge number 453-2020-1306.
I make a motion to approve and authorize legal counsel to enter into a settlement agreement under the terms as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Any discussion? Call a question, Pat.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye. 1.9.2, Pam.
Item 1.9.2, discussion and take possible action related to entering into an interlocal agreement for the purpose of participation and intervention in Public Utility Commission of Texas, PUC, proceeding PUC docket number 52195, SOH docket number 473212606, application of El Paso Electric Company to change rates.
The board will take no action on that item. I'd like to remind everyone that our next board meeting will be on September the 22nd. At 4 o'clock, we'll have a facilities and finance meeting, and the regular board meeting will begin at 5 o'clock on the 22nd of September. Is there any other questions or any other action? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Adjourn.
Okay, all board members that approve, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.